Welcome guys, Demo here at Perfect Gaming Guides, back with another 100% completion guide. This one is for Train Sim World 5, which is currently available for free on Xbox Game Pass. There are 19 achievements in the base game for 1000 Gamerscore guys, and this guide will walk you through getting all of those. There are also some DLCs available via Game Pass, and I'll be adding on videos to this playlist that will also cover the achievements in those too. So after entering our player profile name guys, we're just going to select beginner to get ourselves started with the training here, as there's some achievements available in there. This is actually a pretty chilled game guys. I was actually surprised that I enjoyed this one, if I'm honest, as I've never tried playing a train sim before, but learning how to drive the trains was pretty fun and weirdly quite relaxing. Throughout the videos I'll add some on-screen text overlays guys, just to give you plenty of time to see exactly what the steps are that you need to follow, etc. Okay, let's get into it. So we start off guys, and we're going to use the right stick just to look in the direction where it's telling us here. So up, down, left and right. I'm going to invert my controls here guys, so if you need to do that you select yes there.
Before you get to the trains, take a quick tour of the facility here and learn the basics of moving around on foot.
So we're just going to use the left stick guys and follow these sort of waypoint markers.
Your current objective is shown in the top left of the screen.
This here's a route map guys, and there's actually 20 of these dotted around the training centre bit, and that's actually an achievement later, so that's our first one.
These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience level for the game.
And we're just going to wait here until the next waypoint comes up.
Keep an eye out for other tasks that will ask you to place, collect or fix a variety of things.
Just going to sit down guys, pressing Y
over to
as
the
we're instructed.
You can pause at any point to review objectives and a lot of other information about what's happening at the moment.
So as it's suggesting there, we just need to press our menu button just to go in quickly, and then press B to exit back out of that.
Now that you've covered some of the basics of moving around and interacting with the environment, let's take a
walk
through the building
just continue to follow the
trains.
waypoint markers.
This is Central Square. From here you can explore the main training centre depot and surrounding yards. Your journey operating trains is just getting started here at the training centre. Remember, you can always come back here from the main menu to refresh your knowledge if you're unsure about anything.
So that should get us our freshman achievement guys, and I have noticed in this game that the achievements do take a little while sometimes to pop, but we're just going to move on anyway. So we're continuing on with chapter 1 here. And up it pops.
In this training module, you'll learn about the on-screen overlay known as the heads-up display, or HUD. You'll see it when you're in control of a train. You can configure a range of parameters for the HUD that affect how it looks in the game settings. In this tutorial, you're going to take a look at the two main types of HUD and make a first choice of which one you prefer.
So follow the waypoints again guys, over towards this train, and we're going to press the Y button so that we can step up into the cab. Then we can press Y again to sit on the train driver's seat.
Welcome to the most important seat in the train. Before you can start learning how to make the train move, you're going to need to understand what the HUD is telling you. There are three types of HUD. The one you're seeing now is the normal HUD. You'll learn that first, and then take a look at the minimal HUD next. There is also a simple HUD, which is essentially a cut down version of the normal HUD. The HUD is a guide to show you what the train is doing, how you're doing, and what your next objectives are. You can tune what's shown here using the game settings. The main part of the normal HUD is the speed display in the bottom right. Your current speed is indicated by a white bar that will appear on the outside of the speedometer, and there is a red mark that indicates the maximum permitted speed.
So that's the max permitted speed that I'm highlighting there with the arrow,
This
guys.
is the direction display. An arrow will indicate the forward, reverse, and neutral directions. A cross, or X, means the reverser is currently either not inserted or in the off position. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power or throttle control is in. If the display is white, it refers to power. If the display is yellow, it means powered braking or dynamic braking. If the display is red, then the throttle is currently locked out and you will need to take steps to release the lock before power can be applied. You can learn about troubleshooting elsewhere in Training Center.
So whenever there's any sort of troubleshooting done, guys, I talk you through how to do that, so you don't really need to worry too much about that.
And will often be visible in the train itself on the various gauges. These gauges tell you what is happening in the braking system. The most important one is the BC, or brake cylinder. In most trains, when this reads 0, that means the brakes are released. Anything else, and the brakes are applied. In the top right is the track monitor. This shows you the line ahead and allows you to see all the signals and speed limit changes that you're approaching. By default, the track monitor shows the signals with their actual red, yellow, or green aspect. But when you get more confident, you can hide this information via an option in the game settings. As you accelerate, the track monitor will extend its look-ahead distance so you can see much further ahead at higher speeds. This is all done automatically. Now that you're familiar with the normal HUD, it's time to take a look at the minimal HUD.
We're going to use the HUD that's shown on screen just now, guys, the normal HUD. We're going to use that throughout this video as well because it's much more user-friendly than the minimal one.
You can see that most of the HUD is now gone. You are left with basic information in the top left corner. The minimal HUD immerses you in the experience of driving the train. Use the train's real gauges as much as possible. In the top left corner, you will see the information about your next objective and some limited information about what the train's doing, such as your current speed, the speed limit, and the gradient. Use the game settings to add and remove information from the minimal HUD. With less information, you'll find driving more challenging, but also more immersive and rewarding. Experienced players might prefer the minimal HUD, especially when driving from the cab view. The normal HUD is ideal for newcomers or anyone who wants to drive from an external camera. You can switch HUDs in game settings. Do you want to start with the normal HUD or
So we're going to select normal HUD here, guys. As I said, it's so much easier to drive the train and follow what's going on when you're using the normal one.
That concludes this module. If you wish to replay it, you can come back to it at any time via the training center.
So that's that part of the training finished, guys, and we're just going to continue on. So again, continue chapter 1. We're going to learn how to actually move the trains here in this part. This can feel a bit tricky at first, guys. It feels like there's quite a lot of different controls that you need to put on and whatnot, but it's actually quite easy once you've done it a few times.
In this training module, you're going to learn how to make a train move and then bring it to a stop. For this exercise, you'll be using a British Class 323 electric multiple unit. It's a great train to get started with as the controls are quite straightforward. This module will get you used to the feel of the train and its controls. While many trains have different controls and are operated in different ways, there are basically always 3 controls that are common and are required to move the train.
So that's the reverser stick there, guys.
The reverser chooses the direction you're going to move in. It often has 4 positions: off, forward, neutral and reverse.
So that large handle there that we're pointing at, that's our
brakes
braking
are
system
used to
and
slow
our
or stop
throttle
the
on this
train.
train. It's a
There are
single
potentially
stick for
multiple braking
both.
systems you can find in different trains, and you can read more about that in other sections of the training centre. For now, the Class 323 has a very simple braking system. The throttle controls how fast the train accelerates. In this train, the throttle and brakes are controlled by a combined power and brake handle. Moving the handle in one direction will apply power. The middle position is neutral and does nothing, and then the other range applies the brakes. You will find in some other trains that the throttle and brakes are on separate handles. Before you go any further, set the headlights for daytime running and ensure the tail lights are off.
So we're just going to follow the instructions here, guys. So we're putting the headlights to day, and we're putting the tail lights to off. Then we're going to put a reverser into forward, and you can actually use the down on the D-pad. Up and down on the D-pad is going to change the reverser stick up and down positions. The power handle can be moved manually too. Instead of just dragging it there, you can use the RT button to move it in one direction and use the RB to pull the stick in the opposite direction. So we're just going to apply some power here with RT.
In the bottom right and in the centre of the speedometer,
you can see that the speed's going up there, guys, and we're approaching the speed limit on that little red dot that's on the outside of the dial there. So that's going to be, we're going to need to keep an eye on that when we get to the point where we're having to drive under the speed limits and stuff like that for some of the achievements. Hitting back on the RB on your stick is going to turn the gears down, turn the power down, sorry, back to 0, and we're just going to coast at that.
When it comes to stopping trains, the specifics of each train can be quite different. However, the basic process is fundamentally the same. Bring this train to a complete stop by moving the power brake handle into the braking range.
So we're gradually going to step up the brakes using the RB, and you can see that it's changing yellow. The number's changing yellow there to 1, 2, 3, etc. as we apply more and more brake, and eventually it's going to bring the train to a stop. Yeah, that's probably the hardest part of the game, guys, actually stopping the train in the correct position, and it's just practice.
And how heavy your train is. Knowing the right amount to apply will come with practice and experience. Stopping a train is one of the biggest challenges of controlling it, particularly stopping it in the right place. That concludes this module. If you wish to replay it, you can come back to it at any time via the training centre.
So that's that training module finished as well, guys. And we're just going to continue on and continue chapter 1 again. This is going to teach us how to do the passenger control parts of the train, so like opening the doors, etc.
In this training module, you'll be learning basic passenger operations in this Class 323 electric multiple unit. This part of the training centre is the metro loop. It is used primarily for driver training for passenger trains that are generally shorter or might stop more frequently in normal operating practice. It consists of 2 platforms. In this module, we'll be doing a complete circuit and practicing stopping at both stations.
So we'll just head over to the door of the train, guys. We're going to press A to open it. Step inside the train and we're going to close the door again. Then we can press Y to sit down. So we need to go through the setup. of the train before we can pull away, guys. So
Remember
the guy's
to
going to
close the
basically
driver's
talk us
door
through
once you
everything
get
that
in
we
the
need to
cab.
do here.
Some trains will prevent the brakes from releasing if any doors, including the driver's door, are still open. To unlock the control desk, insert the master key and activate it.
So master key is over on the left hand side here, so we just need to press A and slide that over.
Turn the coach lighting on so that passengers aren't boarding a dark train.
Coach lighting is up the top there on the left hand side, so we're going to switch that on.
To allow passengers to board the train, you will need to
So we can open the doors using the left and right on our D-pad, guys. So if it's the left side that the platform's on, we're pressing the left D-pad button. If it's on the right, we can use the right. First of all though, we need to put the door key in just to activate the doors in the first place. And that's up that top left area there.
As the platform is on your left, press the open doors left button.
So we can either press the buttons on the console there, or as I said, we can use a D-pad. It's so much easier using the D-pad, and you'll just get used to doing that as you pull into stations. So press the button or using our D-pad there, guys.
The weather has turned quite bad, so you'll need to turn the wipers on.
We're going to switch on the wipers here because it's quite heavy rain outside, so we're putting that on to intermittent 2 selection.
The cab light is currently on. Make sure to turn it off. It's useful to find your way around in the cab, but can make it hard to see out of the window, so you should always turn it off before you start moving.
And we'll just switch those cab lights off on the right hand side panel there.
Headlights in the UK are used to allow others to see the train rather than being of great use to the driver seeing out. Set the headlights for daytime running and ensure the tail lights are off.
So our headlights are just to the left on the main panel there, and we're going to set them to day. Then we're going to set our tail lights to off.
While the passenger doors are open and the loading objective completes, you'll notice the bar in the top left slowly rising. Once it reaches the top, the objective will complete and it will be time to close the doors.
So as the guy said, you can see that sort of bar up the top left hand corner where the timer is. That's just showing that our passengers are loading with our objective there of load passengers. Once that's completed, we're going to be able to close the doors.
Now the passengers have boarded the train, close and lock the doors using the close left doors button.
So same again, guys, you can either press the button or you can press left on your D-pad. I would strongly advise you to get used to using the D-pad.
Set the reverser to forward.
Then we're going to press down on the D-pad to select the reverser into the forward position.
Apply some power to get moving.
And now we're going to press our RT to set our power, and you can see I've selected number 2 there, guys, just to try and get it going. Gradually increase it up to 3. Our destination is only 700 metres away here, guys. You can see that gradually reducing up in the sort of bar up the top left hand side there. So we're starting to approach the speed limit, guys, as you can see on the little red dot. At about 400 metres, you probably want to start using the RB button here, start gently braking. Don't want to stop too quickly, you just want to gradually increase the brakes.
You're approaching the next station.
Rule of thumb, if you can approach the platform and maybe be doing sort of 30-40 kilometres an hour, that's a pretty good speed to be at. On this one, because it's just training, guys, you don't really need to stop exactly in the right place. As long as you stop at the platform, somewhere at the platform, that's all good. So TSW5 first step achievement pops up. We've reached level 2 as a driver.
This platform is on the right, so you'll need to use the open right doors button to unlock and open the doors this time. Once again, observe the objective indicator on the HUD to tell you when it is completed.
Now our doors are on the right hand side that we want to open, so we're going to use our D-pad on the right to open our doors there. You can also see on the sort of HUD, guys, you can see a little visualization of the doors as well, and we can see that the right door's open there. and we just need to wait on our passengers getting out and then the new ones loading in. Again, we're going to press our D-pad right, and that's going to close our doors for us again.
Use the doors close right button to close and lock the doors.
While the interlock is active, the power box will be red and you cannot speed up, guys. You need to clear the box back to being white first, so we'll use the RT and RB buttons to flick our power back to position 0.
Get on.
Then once we've done that, we can then start pulling away using our RT button. Again, the destination is only about 700 metres away, so we need to get ready to start gradually braking around about the 300 metre mark, guys. You might want to do it a little bit sooner than that, just until you get used to how long it actually takes to stop the train. But again, because this is just a training, you don't need to be really accurate on where you're stopping here. As I said, as long as you just kind of stop near the platform or at the platform, that's all good. So I've started braking pretty much about 500 metres, I think it was there. I went into coasting mode actually, so just sitting at 0, and now I'm starting to apply the brakes with about 300 metres to go maybe. So once we bring our train to a complete stop here, guys, we're going to open our left side doors using the left D-pad.
That concludes this module. If you wish to replay it, you can come back to it at any time via the training centre.
And up pops our TSW5 graduate for completing the 4 training modules, guys. We're now going to exit out to the main menu again, guys. So from the main menu, guys, we are going to go to the Creators Club, which is down the bottom at the middle there. Then we're going to select the livery designer over on the right hand side. We're actually going to design a new livery for a specific train here, guys. So in the search box we are going to type in 323 and then do a search for that train. That's actually the train that we were just in doing our training modules with. So 323, the TTC class 323. We're going to press the X button to add a new livery. Call it whatever you like, guys. I'm calling it livery achievements here, just so that I know which one I'm going to use. Then we're going to confirm that. We're going to go to the layers area here, guys, and add a new layer using the option menu button. Pick whatever shape or logo that you want to add. I'm just going to pick a logo. Then we're going to confirm that choice using the menu or option button again there. Now select go back from list of options, and then we're going to save and exit that. And in a few seconds we should get our achievement pops up. So up it pops, that's the artist achievement, guys, for creating a new livery skin. We're now going to press A here, guys, to select that livery. So I've got livery achievements, it's called there, so I'm going to select that. Then we're going to edit the livery, pressing our option menu button again. So So this bit here, we're going to actually create 500 layers, guys. So we're using the D-pad to select the layer, then click the copy icon. So we do need to do this 500 times, unfortunately, but it is fairly quick. It only takes a minute or two to actually do it. So just getting a bit of a rhythm doing that. You literally just keep copying. There's an achievement for adding the 500 layers initially, guys, but there's also achievements for using the livery on a train while driving it as well, so we kind of do need to do this for a few different achievements. So sometimes you might hit the wrong button or whatever, guys. You just need to press B or whatever to get back to the copying bit. So once we get to the 500, if you've not caught up yet, guys, you maybe want to pause the video until you've caught up, just so that you can see what the next steps are. So nearly there. So that's us at the 500 now, guys. We're going to add the 500th. When you have the 500, we're just going to press B to go back. Then we need to save and exit, guys. It's really important that you do the save and exit, or you'll have to do that all over again. And if we just give it a little bit of time, we should see our achievement pop up, guys. And there it is. So livery layer leader, we get our achievement pop up. So as I said, we are actually going to use that livery on a specific train, guys, just to get ourselves an achievement further down the road. So we're just going to back out of there, and we're going to go to the trains this time, guys, from the main menu. Then we're going to go to choose a route. And we're going to select the training centre. Then we're going to go to free roam over at the far right there. Now we're going to press A twice to go into free roam and just start the game up. So in this part here, guys, this is the bit that I mentioned earlier, that we're going to find all the route maps. First of all, we're going to pause the game now, and we're going to go into photo mode for an achievement just for taking a photograph. So down the bottom left there, we've got photo mode. So just press A to take a picture of basically anything. Then we're going to select save. And after a few seconds, our achievement should pop up for that. And there it is. Trainspotting. So once we've got that one out of the way, we're going to go and get the Taskmaster achievement by collecting those 20 route maps. And bear in mind, guys, that we did pick up the first one during the training tutorial there, so we've got the second one just right ahead of us there. You can access the map quickly using the view button on your controller, or pause and go into the map, guys. So this is what the map looks like, and the little feet is where we are standing right now. You can use these fast travels on the map, guys, so we're just going to select that one over at the right hand side. turn to our right here and we're just going to head along this path. You can see we've got a compass there that's really useful, guys, so we're heading west, just to make sure that you're going the right direction here. Heading west, and we can see that our next route map is just right there. So that's 3 of the 20. Back into the map again using our menu button, and we're roughly in that area there. So we're going to fast travel to the nav hub again just to get us a little bit closer. So find the nav hub, select fast travel, make it a little bit quicker. This time we're going to turn to our left and we're going to head east. So using the compass again, guys, just follow these tracks heading east. You can actually see just over in the distance there, you can actually see the next route map just ahead of us there. So that's route map 4 of 20. Back into the map again, guys. Next one is down near Metro South, so we're going to use our fast travel to go there. So just down this area here, and the green arrow is roughly the area that we actually need to run to. So we're going to head northeast along the platform this time, and the rails should be on our right hand side. You see those rocks just up ahead of us there, guys, that ridge? We're needing to go up there. And there is route map 5 of 20. Back into our map again, and this one is also near Metro South, so we're going to use fast travel to go there again. Turn left and we're going to walk to the end of the platform. So again, just round the back of this building here. Past the lake and just turn right, and we'll see it just right ahead of us there. That's number 6. Back into our map again. Next one is south, but there is no fast travel anywhere near it really, so we're just going to have to run to that one. So we'll turn around and we're going to head past the lake. The lake should be on our right hand side. We're heading south. We're following the track all the way, guys, until we see a path cutting through the trees on our left hand side. That's the only way that you can get through the trees. You can't just run through the trees, it doesn't allow you to do that. You need to find the path. So we can see we've got a little sort of dirt track path here on our left, so we're just going to cut up through the trees all the way to the top of this ridge here. When we get to the top, we're going to take a left and follow this sort of dirt track down to the building there, and our next route map is literally just the other side of the building there. There it is. So that's number 7. Back into our map again, guys. Next one is at station 1, so we can use our fast travel to get there. That's just over to the left here. The next one is just straight ahead of where we spawn in, guys, just round to the right here. So that's number 8. Next one is just further up the track from where we are now, guys, so we're just going to run to that one as there's no fast travel close by. So we're going to turn and we're going to head northwest along the platform. Rail track is going to be on our left hand side here. So cut across the grass, just checking the map there, guys, just to see where I was, but just going to keep cutting across the grass here. Rail tracks should still be on our left hand side, and you can actually see it just in the distance there on the top of that little sort of mound. That's number 9. Back into a map again. Next is at the switchline station, so we're going to use the fast travel there, guys. That's just north of our position just now. Select the switch line and we're going to fast travel. So when we spawn in here, guys, we're going to turn to our northwest, and there's a building with a car outside of it, and our route map is just behind the car there. That's number 10, halfway there. Back into our map again. Next one is just further up the track from where we are now, guys, so roughly where our green arrow is pointing to there is where we want to go. So we're going to turn round, we're going to follow the tracks to the west just until we meet a footpath. So just heading all the way along this one here, just heading west. So at the end of the track there, we can see there's a footpath here, so we're just going to now follow this footpath, guys. That should be in a northward direction that we're heading now. And we can now see our route map coming into view just ahead of us there. And that's number 11. Back into our map again here. Next one, again, just further up the track from where we are now, and again, unfortunately, there are no fast travel, so we're just going to have to run to this one as well. So it's kind of roughly in that area there. So we're going to go across this bridge here, we're going to follow the tracks to the north. You're literally just following the tracks all the way, guys, until we get to a tunnel and we need to run through the tunnel. So you can actually spawn in trains, guys, but this one is probably the only one that you would maybe save a bit of time doing that. By the time you get into the train and you need to set it all up and get it ready to drive, it's not really worth it, to be honest. Most of the other route maps and such are pretty close by to each other or close to the fast travel points, so there's not really much to be gained by using the trains, I don't think. So anyway, we get through the other side of the tunnel, guys, and just further along here there is a path that leads off to the right up through these sort of rocky areas. I think it's just round this bit here, I think. Just checking that. Yep. So head up this grassy area here on our right. We're just going to head south, guys. I'm kind of looking around to see where to try and figure out where I'm going here, but we just need to head south all the way up to the top of the hill. We'll get to like a kind of car park area. There's a couple of trucks and cars. I'm going to turn left at that, and just the rocks with the tree just ahead of us there, our route map is just round that corner. So there we have it, number 12. Next one, not too far away, we can get there in maybe 30 seconds or something, so we're just going to head over to the east of where we are now and see that on the map. So again, I've just tried to see if I could find a shortcut there, guys, but unfortunately not. We just need to run down this path here, just keep following the path. And again, I'm trying to see if there's a shortcut, but the game doesn't let you sort of climb down the rocks. So we just need to follow the path all the way to the east here. Still can't climb down. Just keep following that path, guys. And then eventually that's going to let us down to the tracks. We're just going to cut straight across the tracks. If you look through that gap there, you'll actually see our route map just straight ahead of us there. So that's number 13. Next one is southeast of where we are now, and we can use our fast travel to Central Square to get to that one quicker, guys, so we're going to do that. So that's us back literally where we started. We're just going to turn and head north. So we're just keeping heading north here, guys, and you can see at the end of this sort of hedgerow here there is our route map. So that's number 14. Back into our map again, and this one is to the west over the tracks from where we are now, guys, so just roughly in that sort of area there where the green arrow is. So heading west here over the grass towards this sort of fenced area, guys. When we reach the track, we are going to turn right in between these two fences here. When we get to the end of the fencing, we're going to take a left, and we're just going to head over in a kind of westward direction here, guys. I've kind of gone up the hill just so I could see where I was, but we're just heading west. And those sort of fences that are over in the distance there, that's where we want to be heading. There's a road that takes us up to the right there. Again, checking my map just to make sure I'm in the right place. So onto this road, and we're just going to follow the road up to the northwest, and we will see our route map over on the right hand side here beside this shelter. So number 15. Next one is west, almost in the very centre of this sort of large area here, roughly where our green arrow is there. So we're just going to head west. You can't go directly in a straight line to it, unfortunately, guys, so we're going to have to turn and head back in the direction that we came here. So we're going to turn and head back down this road. Then we're going to take a right and just follow this road all the way to the west. You'll know you've gone far enough, guys, when you reach a small roundabout on the road, and our route map is within sight of that, it's just past it, so just keep going. Yeah, and I'm just checking my map there, guys, just to make sure that I'm in the right place, but I definitely am. So just keep going until we see that little roundabout that I was talking about. And here it is coming up. So we'll just cut straight through that, and we can see our route map is just past it. So that's 16 of the 20, guys. The next ones are all pretty close to each other, and we can use fast travel, so we're going to go Metro North for this one, guys. So as we spawn in, our route map is pretty much just straight ahead of us, so that's number 17 done. Back into our map again. Next one is just to the southwest along the track from where we are. So roughly where our green arrow is showing on the map there. So turn left and we're going to follow along the path, heading in a southwest direction here, guys. So this little path here. Keep following the track that's heading south, guys, and our route map will be on the right side of the track. You can kind of see it in the distance there, so not too far away. So number 18, 2 more to go. Back into our map again, and this one we can use Metro North, fast travel, and the green arrow there was just showing where our next one is. So Metro North, We're going to turn right this time and we're going to follow along the path. Then we're going to turn left at that footbridge just ahead of us there. So underneath the footbridge, take a left and then take another left, and we're just going to follow these tracks along here. So we're heading west now, and our route map is kind of up against this building on our right hand side here. It's just further along the tracks on the right hand side. So 19 out of 20. Back into our map again here, guys. The last one is just along the track to the west of where we are. So just in this area here. So we're going to turn left and we're going to follow the tracks to the west here. Move across to these tracks here on our right hand side now, guys. You can see some buildings ahead of us in the distance. That's pretty much where we're heading, and there's a sort of shelter there as well. I'm going to head over in that direction where the buildings are. So you can actually see our route map now. If we can just cut through here. There it is. Cut through the fence, and there is our 20th route map, guys. Up pops our achievement, Taskmaster. And we can now exit out of there and go back to our main menu. I'd appreciate if you would give the video a like, and if you would subscribe to the channel, guys, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. So from the main menu, guys, we're going to go to the trains section. Then we're going to go to choose a route. And on this one, we are going to check the Frankfurt Fulda out. So we're going to go in there. Then we're going to go to scenarios. In the scenarios section, we're going to select the ice into the night. This one's quite an easy one, guys, to do, and it's quite short, so that's part of the reason we're going to use that. So we'll press A to get started, guys. For the duration of this scenario, guys, we're going to drive under the speed limit as much as possible, as there's achievements related to that. We'll get the Pathfinder achievement, where we're doing this one for driving 5 miles under the speed limit, if you don't already have that. And this also contributes to the Sweet Tea achievement, which is for driving 100 kilometres under the speed limit in this particular train that we're in. So we're kind of killing multiple birds with one stone, as they say here. We just need to drive the train to a single station for this scenario, unload the passengers, then park the train into a siding, and that's it done. This train has a couple of control handles, guys. It's 2 separate control handles, one for the power and the other one is for the brake. Hang around here waiting for the next instructions to pop up, so that's going to pop up as highlighted up the top left there. We're going to press left on our D-pad to close the door. You can see that marked with the arrow. The little display down on our HUD can show you what doors are opened. It's a good little indicator there. So we're going to get moving. As you step up the power, the white number on the HUD goes up between 1 and 10 on this train, so 10 is the maximum power. We use the RT and RB buttons to either increase and decrease the power, and then we use our left trigger and left bumper for increasing and decreasing the brakes. Current speed is indicated by the little red dot as usual on the outside of the dial, and our distance bar up the top there as you can see, that's telling us that we're about to approach a 40 km/h zone, and then it moves to a 60 km/h zone. So it's a good idea to be watching this to prepare yourself to slow down. So as I said, using the LT, LB buttons to apply some brake or remove the brake as needed. As you step up the brake, you can see that the numbers change to a kind of yellow colour instead of being white. That lets you know that you get brake applied, and you'll also get that red box. Using the LB and RB, we need to click the brakes and the power back to the 0 position to clear that red box. So if you've ever got the red box, you need to clear that by putting both your brakes and your power back to 0. Then the box will turn white again, and we can just start accelerating again, guys. So we're going to keep the speed below the limits as much as possible. So you get kind of close to the speed limit, and then you can just start coasting by putting our power back to 0, guys. This saves us having to brake so much, which is a bit of a pain if you're constantly having to put the brakes on and then cancel that red box, as I was explaining earlier. So if you can try and stay under the speed limit as much as possible, and keep a wee eye up on that bar up the top there, just for what the changes in the speed are going to be ahead. So we can see we're about to approach a 110 km/h zone, and then it goes up to 130, so, and then 150 actually. So we can start to increase our speed a bit. So the speed limit is gradually creeping up, so we can just keep increasing our speed, guys. As long as we're staying underneath that limit there, we'll be clocking up miles and getting closer to our achievements for the distance travelled well under the speed limit. So I'm about to pick up the Pathfinder achievement here, guys, for driving a train within the speed limit for 5 miles. But as I said earlier, you may already have that one if you've been driving some trains yourself. So as you can see, there's these like 2 sticks, guys, and you can manually change them as well. Just grab them with the A button and drag them, or you can just use your right and left triggers and bumpers as I've been doing. It's so much easier than actually grabbing the sticks manually. So I would recommend that you use your triggers and your bumpers for accelerating and decelerating. So speed limit's 160 here, I'm just sitting at about 157, 158, something like that. I always like to just sit a little bit under just to give a little bit of leeway there. We are approaching a 150 zone, so we are going to have to go down our gears a bit, possibly even brake, just to get us underneath that speed limit. It's a good idea to try and do that a little bit earlier than the actual sign itself, guys, because when the train's travelling so fast it can take a little bit of distance to get under those speed limits. And if you overdo it slightly on the brakes, you can do what I've just done there and just speed up again. So I'm currently doing about 140, and as you can see up ahead I've got an area of the track that is going to drop to like 100, so as I get a little bit closer I'm going to have to ease off the power a bit and possibly even brake, just to bring that down a bit and kind of saves you having to slam the brakes on. So only 3 kilometres to go now, guys, to our stop. I'm still sitting quite fast here, so I'm probably going to ease off a little bit now. And hit that brake. So as you can see, when it's red like that, that obviously means that I'm over the speed limit, guys. It doesn't matter too much if you go over the speed limit in a few sort of bits, but it just means that you're losing some of the mileage for being under the speed limit. So just sailing straight through this train station here, I'm not stopping at this one. again, approaching a 90, so we're going to have to slow down a little bit. You can view from the outside of the train as well, guys, by clicking down on your right stick if you wanted to view it from that perspective. I prefer to be in the cab, to be honest. It's much easier to drive the train. Approaching an 80, so we're going to have to drop our power down a little bit again here. And again, guys, just that red box that appears, it basically is like an interlock. That red box that appears round about our power gauge, just as a reminder, if you get that red box coming up, you always need to reset both your brakes to 0 and your power to 0, and then it will turn white again. That allows us to keep moving. So we're approaching our station now, guys. We're only sort of 600 metres away. I'm doing about 60 kilometres an hour here. So we're just going to kind of coast in there. And it's going to get down to a 30 actually, so we're going to have to start applying some brakes. You don't need to get this spot on, guys. As long as you kind of stop anywhere in the kind of coloured zone, you're going to be good. The closer that you get to the very end marker, it kind of gives you a better score at the end. So we can see that our platform is on the left side of our train, so once we finally come to a stop here, we are going to use our left D-pad to open the doors. So apply a brake just to make sure the train doesn't keep rolling. Then we can use our left D-pad, as I said. That's going to unlock the doors, let the passengers out, and we are going to do a couple of settings on our train here. So we're setting the brake to full application position, and just note that is not all the way back, it's like one forward from being all the way back, so it's like position 9 if you like. Switch our reverser off, so indicated there. Switch that to off, so that's just one position back. And now we are going to change ends on the train, so we're going to press our Y button to get out the chair, open up this door, go through this door, and we're just going to head right through all of the carriages of the train, guys. You could actually go outside here, guys, but don't do that. Just go right through the carriages of the train, because we need to interact with a passenger, I believe, halfway along here, or 3/4 of the way along. So I think it's in the next carriage. Yeah, he's in the next carriage, I think. So you'll see a guy sitting on his own, and it looks like he's fallen asleep. So we'll interact with this guy here just to wake him up. Click OK on that, and we just need to wait on our next instruction popping up in the left hand top corner, guys, before we can move on here. It does take a few seconds for it to pop up, but once it pops up, we can just start moving forward again. Yep, there we go, change ends. So we can now continue in heading through our train all the way to the far end. And we can go into the cab. So just close the door behind us and we're going to take a seat, pressing Y again. Couple of things we need to set up on the train before we can go. So we're going to set the reverser to the forward position, and then we are going to press our right on our D-pad to close our doors. It says loading passengers, but we're not actually putting any passengers in, so that's interesting because we're actually going to go and park in a siding here. So just to get the train moving, we don't want to go too fast here, we just need to reset everything back to zero, like our brakes and our accelerator. Just before we finally park the train, guys, into the siding, I'm going to prompt you to make a manual save, as this lets us get the beginner, standard and expert scenario achievements without having to redo all three of those in separate scenarios. It's going to save you a good hour time there. So as I said, we're quite close to the siding, it's only sort of 600 metres away, so you don't really want to be going too fast here, and we are going to be pressing the menu button so that we can make a save point as well. We're just going to kind of trundle along around sort of 20, 25, something like that. We need to stop pretty close on this one, guys. You need to stop pretty close to the green marker at the very end of the sort of coloured area. So once we get down to like 300 metres or so, you maybe want to just ease off the power completely and just coast along. So this is where we're going to pause our game, guys. So we're going to make a manual save. So we're just going to hit our menu button. I kind of waited until I got really close, but you might want to do that a little bit earlier. So hit your menu button. Then we're going to move across to options using our LB. Then we're going to save our current progress. And then we're going to press B to go back to our game. We're now going to get ready to use our LT, our LT to increase the brakes here, guys, just as we start to get pretty close to the green section at the very end there, so we want to stop as close to the end as possible. And if you've managed to do that successfully, that little message pops up. Good job today, thanks for your help, guys. If you've maybe stopped a bit short and you just need to move a little bit forward, just remember, reset all your brakes and everything back to zero, nudge forward a little bit and you're good to go. So up pops our achievement for success. If you're on the beginner mode, guys, which you should be if you follow for the beginning here, you get the first success achievement. We've got the standard mode one to do and then the expert mode as well. That's what we made our save point for. So we're going to go back to the main menu here, guys. Don't do replay scenario. We're going to go back to the main menu. Then from the main menu, select resume last played. So not the top one, the one in the middle. As the game restarts, we're going to pause the game right away, guys. So back over to our options using our LB button. Then we're going over to settings on the right. Player assists. I've already done the beginner one, guys, so you're going to change this to standard now. Make sure you apply the change. And then we're going to press our B button to go back into the game again. So same as before, guys, we're just going to apply some brake as we approach the end here. Again, that message is going to pop up if you've got it close enough to the end.
Note for info.
And up pops setting the standard for completing our first scenario in standard mode, guys. Once that's popped, we're just going to head back to our main menu again. So again, main menu. And same as before, resume last played. And again, as the game restarts, we are going to pause it right away again. LB across to our options menu, then on to our settings at the right there. Player assist. And we're going to change the default level to expert. Then make sure that we apply it with the menu button, and we are going to press B to get back out of there, and B again to get back into the game. Same again, guys, just brake, and that was going to get us our final achievement for the scenario part of this.
Note for info.
So making sure the message pops up again, guys, that lets us know that we've been accurate enough and close enough to the marker. And we just need to wait on moving back into the menu and our achievement should pop. I'd appreciate if you would give the video a like, and if you would subscribe to the channel, guys, that would be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. And up pops our achievement, top link for completing our first scenario in expert mode. We're just going to head back to the main menu now, guys. And this time we're going to go to the Creators Club again. We're going to head down to Scenario Planner in the bottom right. And we're going to select the Training Centre here. We're pressing A to create a new scenario. Name the scenario basically whatever you want, guys. I'm going to put distance achievements. And then we're just going to confirm that. Leave the rest of that at default. We don't need to change any of that. Good idea to change the weather here, guys, so just change it to custom so that it doesn't end up raining and stuff like that. You can change it to summertime as well if you want to. Then just confirm that, and then confirm again. Next, we're going to press the X button to add a new service. So again, give the service a name, whatever you like, and confirm again. We're now pressing X to add a new path. Move down to main loop track 1, guys, 600 meters. So we're selecting that and we're going to press A. Then we're going to press our menu button to confirm that. And that's going to get us the Cunning Plan achievement for creating our first scenario in the scenario planner. Select main loop 1 to switch line 2 and then press A on that. Then we're going to press our menu button to confirm it. Now we're going to move down to main loop west 1, or stay on that, sorry, it's on it already. Press A and then confirm our destination using the menu button again. We're selecting the class 323 TTC. You can search for it up in the bar or you can just move down to it. It's already there for me, so clicking on that, select it. Press A again. Now we're going to select the livery that we created earlier. So I called mine livery achievements. So I'm going to select that, as there's some achievements for driving a train with the custom livery. Press our menu button. Then we're going to press B and B again to save and exit. We're going to select our scenario and press A so that we can play it, and press A again so that it actually starts. So during this section we're going to get the following achievements, guys, the Quality Assurance Achievement and the Exhibitionist Achievement. So usual start to when we're driving this train, so it's set our master switch, which is over on the left here. We're going to switch that on, our master key. Select the reverser and we're going to switch that to forward. Then we're going to get our brake position and we're going to put that back to 0. I'm going to pause the game here and we're going to switch the difficulty back to beginner mode actually, guys. So back into our options, over to settings, and then the player assist, switch that back to beginner. So this train takes a little while before you can move, so the master reservoir for the brakes needs to pressurise before we can move off, so we're just going to have to wait on that happening, and you'll know that it's happened when the red box turns from red to white, and that means that we're good to go. So that's it cleared now, guys. We can start pulling away using our RT. So remember, this train has only got a single stick, so RT accelerates and RB puts our brake on or turns the power down first and then applies the brake. We've only got about 1.3 kilometres to go for this, so we're going to get the train up to speed. And then around 800 metres from our stop, we're going to pause the game and save it. So press the pause button, and then we're going to go back across to our options again there, guys. Move down to save game, and then we're going to press our B button to back out and get back into the game. So as we near the tunnel, guys, we're just going to start slowing down gradually because it's only sort of 500 metres once we come out the tunnel to our stop. So you can just coast, get our speed down to maybe about 60 or so, and then you can just coast by setting our power to 0. Then we can just start applying our brakes. Again, you don't need to get this spot on, guys. It needs to be fairly close, but it doesn't need to be absolutely spot on. So just waiting for our achievement. There it pops. Exhibitionist. So that's for completing a scenario using your own created livery. And we get a second achievement, quality assurance, and that's for completing one of our created scenarios, guys. So I'm going to back out of there to the main menu. Kind of in the home straight now, guys. In this section we're going to get the last 5 of the base game achievements, so all the ones for the various different mileages that you need to do under the speed limit. And we're just going to leave the train to run on a loop track until all the distances above are covered, guys. This can take about 4 hours or so, maybe a bit closer to 5. So you need to plug a controller in if you're going to leave it running. You need to plug it in with a cable, otherwise it's just going to go to sleep. You can do this over multiple sessions as well, guys. It doesn't need to be all in one go. And if you actually plan on doing the DLC achievements for the extra gamer score, you may want to actually leave this part, as you'll chip away at all the mileages and achievements just by doing the DLCs themselves. So several of the DLCs involve driving distances in various trains, and that's going to get you some of the achievements anyway for the distances. But anyway, we're going to select our resume last played here, guys. That save point that we made when we got up to speed for doing the livery achievements. So as we resume, we're just speeding up as we were. And we can see the speed limit is 160 kilometers an hour, guys, the red marker on our speed dial. We can stay up on 4, but once we get close to that, we're going to have to step that down to 2 so that we remain under the speed limit. And I'm going to cut the video, guys. I don't want to show 5 hours of just driving around in circles, obviously. So I'll just cut it, and I'm just going to show you each of the achievements popping here. So there's our first one. So drive any locomotive for 20 miles under the speed limit. And as I said, if you just leave it on the second gear or second power setting, that's going to keep us under the speed limit. We can switch on the achievement tracker in Xbox menu, guys. That's going to let you see the remaining distance for each of your achievements as well, which is pretty good. So you can see, cut to the end of this one, the Achieving Gold achievement is just about to pop as we reach our 50 miles, I think it is, yep, 50 miles within the speed limit. here's our Centurion one about to pop as well, guys, so for driving 100 miles under the speed limit. Next one is the Intuition achievement, and that's for driving 250 miles while under the speed limit. And up pops our achievement. And then we have our final achievement, which is the Proclaimer achievement for 500 miles. And up pops our final achievement of the game, guys, Proclaimer. So that's our base game achievements all done, all 19, and that should be our 1000G. If you found the video useful, guys, I would really appreciate if you would hit that like and subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. If you're going to do the DLCs, I'm going to be adding videos onto this playlist that's going to cover those off as well. So I will hopefully see you in the next one, guys.